Comics of 100 Years Ago, August 16th, 1924. It's Little Orphan Annie by Harold Gray. Annie and Mrs. Warbucks are talking, and Mrs. Warbucks says, "Now, Annie, I'm giving a little dinner tonight, and I'm going to let you sit at the table and see how well you can behave in society. The best way to get along is to let nothing worry you. Just remember all the time to be perfectly at ease." "Yes, I'll remember," says Annie. And now she is at table with Mrs. Warbucks and two bald men in high collars. They face, the two men face each other. We can see the back of one and the front of the other. They look to be practically identical. And Mrs. Warbucks is saying, "Oh, Mr. Fiddlesticks, you're so humorous. Blah, blah, blah," says Mr. Fiddlesticks. There are candles on the table, roses, and what sticks out to Annie the most is all the cutlery. She hands the cutlery back to Egbert, and Mrs. Warbucks screams, "Annie!" And Annie says, "Say, Clyde, I'm no sword swallower. Take these away. The only way I can be at ease is to put my mind on one knife and fork and forget the rest. It saves a lot of dishwashing, too." The bald man that we could only see from the back says, there's nothing loose in her head." The woman sitting next to Annie is aghast, but there is a very creepy-looking man with a giant beard who is also bald that says, "Atta girl, you spilled a mouthful." Also, Mrs. Warbucks has a great big flapper necklace on that is flipped up over her plate on the table.